Hi guys, welcome back. I really enjoy making videos lately, so that is why I wanted to make another one for you. In this video, I will start a new sketchbook. And to celebrate that very fun thing, I decided to share the experience with you. This is a quick flip through of the same sketchbook. This one is finished now. The sketchbooks are from the brand Hahnemühle. I have a lot of trouble with pronouncing names, if you could not tell already. It's a German brand, I believe, and it's actually a watercolor book. It works perfect for either gouache, acrylics, or watercolors. I already used masking tape in it, so we can start quickly. These are the essentials that I will use for the first page in my new book. I will be working with gouache today. If you want to know more about this paint medium, I made another video about that. You could definitely watch that if you would like to learn more tips and tricks. I will also use a black and a white fine liner. So first it's time to pick our colors and mix them. Lately I have really been into pastel colors. Perhaps it's because it's currently spring and outside it feels like it's already summer. That feels like the best time ever, since we have had a period here in the Netherlands where it was raining almost constantly. I mixed a soft blue color with a little bit of white and I used that for the sky. I would like to have a touch of lilac and yellow there as well, so I blend that carefully with each other and add the colors on top of the wet paint. I was wondering, how are you currently doing? Right now the corona situation has been pretty hectic everywhere, I think. It's insane to see that so many lives are impacted by it. I am not studying anymore, but working full-time as a designer. So for me, it's possible to work at home, but the routine of your daily life is suddenly so different. I hope you are okay and that perhaps you will find a way to ease your worries by picking up a new hobby or perhaps making time for the things you love to do. I have been painting a lot lately and I really enjoy that. I also love reading books or working on the things that I've been wanting to finish for ages. For example, I have been planning to work on a website for myself, so that is sort of going to be my new project. Okay, back to the painting. I mixed a green shade with blue and a little bit of white. Whenever I am painting water, I start with the darkest color in the back and I will end with the lightest color of blue. If that sounds complicated, just watch what I am doing. This painting does need more layers because you can see that the paint does not cover everything and it is also not blended smoothly. For the water, I am adding another layer as well. Here you can really see that the color in the back is much more darker than what is in front. We will blend that in a bit, so do not worry about that part yet. Since the first painting needs to dry before we can work with it again, I am going to head over to the second painting of this page. This one is going to be a little different. I want it to be a night sky with a moon and especially a lot of purple elements, so I mixed a blue shade with red and a little bit of white, and that's going to be our night sky. That needs to dry as well, so I am going to switch again. It is time to paint clouds. There's not really a way to do this wrong or right. I basically draw a cloud shape and I add a couple of details. I usually add a white shade for the clouds and then I mix it with one other color until the darkest shade will be in front of the cloud. Since I added a lilac shade for the sky, I thought it would be a great idea to use the same color for the clouds. If you don't like how they turn out if you decide to paint them, you could easily paint over them and start again. You will eventually find a way that works for you. Looking at pictures of clouds and sketching them first can also help a lot. In the middle, I painted a white dot. I am going to let this dry first, but later on I will add our sun here. This is going to be yellow. Slowly, we can already add a couple of details. You can tell that is my favorite part. I would like to have more reflections in the water. You can basically do this by adding the same colors that you used for the clouds. The reflections should be smaller and less noticeable in the background. I also wanted to do something different with the mountains, so I added a darker shade of the yellow on top. I honestly think that this is a really fun sketchbook experiment, and I especially love the colors that I used because they remind me so much of summertime. Now I am going to do something fun. I am going to paint stones. You can get this brown shade by mixing an orange color with blue. To make it darker, you could add a little bit of black. First, these shapes will look a little bit weird, but that is going to change over time because, of course, I will add more details. Since the second painting is going to be the night sky, I want to add a couple of white dots. I do this by adding a little bit of white and water on a paintbrush, and I basically use this technique to make the painting more realistic. You could add a couple of more white dots with a white fine liner if you have one nearby. I thought it was interesting to add some more clouds here, but I do this a little bit different than how I normally paint clouds. I add different shapes on top of each other, and I basically try to add both lighter as darker shades of purple. And now for the moon. I got my phone and I searched for a good quality picture of it, just for some inspiration and a reference to look at while I am painting. I actually use the same technique for the moon. I just add variations of purple shade and lighter and darker tones. Once I am satisfied about the moon, it's time to add the last details. I really like to use colored pencils for this. I am also going to use a white fine liner. I recently discovered that I like working with colored pencils because I was visiting my parents and I didn't have my usual art materials with me, so I used them for details. It's also a great way to add more texture, and they do not have to be expensive at all, so that's definitely a big recommendation. I use a dark brown pencil to give the stones more shadow. The mountains also need some structure. To add highlights, I once again use my favorite white fine liner. Just play around with colors and see how far you can go. It's really fun to do so. After I have added the last details, I pull off the masking tape. In that way, you can get really nice white borders around your paintings. This was the result of the first page in my new sketchbook. I hope you liked watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. I also post all my journal spreads on my Instagram account, Middle Journals, so check that out if you are interested. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye!